Hello everyone, PraseScoot here, and welcome back to more of Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Last time, well, we were introduced to the game. Zelda's gone. The Master Sword looks like I pulled it out of an acid bath. Link's right arm, looks like it got sucked up in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. And whatever we accomplished in Breath of the Wild is now a clean slate and gone. Let's move forward with our adventure. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do this again, but if you are just jumping in the second episode, or if YouTube does that fun thing where it only recommends the second episode of the series and not the first episode, in the corner will be a link that will take you to episode 0 that explains everything I'm going to do throughout the course of this game. So there's that, and we're going to move on. So last time I taught you about like swinging, weapons, swinging your sword, running and jumping. Let's talk about the thing that everybody hates about this game for some reason. The weapon system. Weapon system has been slightly modified to be a little more user friendly, but it still has the weapon degrading system tied to it. But what I will tell you, and I will recommend, is that much like with the first, or I keep saying first game, sorry, it's Force of Habit. Much like with Breath of the Wild, if you see something and you see it sparkle and glint in the sunlight, so to say, pick it up. Doesn't matter, in most cases, doesn't matter if you go out of your way for it, pick it up. And now, combat. This is our first instance of combat. Dang it. Thankfully, this construct, this Zonai construct, is our first enemy of the game. You'll be seeing that message of the Master Sword is running low quite a lot, and when that happens, it's gone. Now, as the game is showing right there, when your weapon is about to break, or when your weapon is about to break and you get that warning, it is probably a good idea to just go ahead and throw the weapon instead of keep swinging with it. I probably won't do that because I'm stupid. But I will tell you that it is a good idea to throw weapons. Now these horns, these construct horns, these charges, they don't mean anything to us right now. In fact, none of it will mean anything to us for a little bit. But I would recommend coming off on the beaten path here and picking up this proper stick and not just a tree branch. Right now, this stick is your best weapon. There will be a couple other weapons we can get later on, but the stick is going to be your end goal for weaponry. Now, taking a little bit of a detour, I would recommend, before you talk to, I'm going to tell you right now, to go forward, we have to talk to that different looking Zonai on the left there. Head off to the side and do a little exploring. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. But I'll also use this as an opportunity to explain some other more finite things about the game and exploration system. For one, the stamina wheel and running. If that stamina wheel ever stops while you're doing an action, you're just out of you doing that action. You cannot do any other actions that require stamina wheel until it fully recovers. This is a double-edged sword because as you get more stamina, it takes longer for the stamina to recharge. But also it takes longer for it to run out. This also extends to climbing. Much like Breath of the Wild, climbing... Let me go on a tree so I can show this proper. Come on, game. Work with me for a minute. Much like with Breath of the Wild, you can climb on any surface. As you climb, your stamina wheel will decrease. You can press X to take a leap up to a higher area, but unless you have something... Oh boy, I forgot already. Unless you have something that specifically dictates that you do not consume as much stamina while doing a thing, you will wait. Pressing X to jump up higher, or even left and right on a surface that you're climbing, will take up more stamina than if you just slowly scale it. Basically, use the X to jump if you're like in red, if your stamina wheel is in the red or about to run out and you need that little extra push to get up that cliff face. It is your last resort before you basically let go and plummet to your doom. Hi. Friend or foe? I see teeth. I'm thinking foe. I also fought something that... hi. I'm now seeing the proper face of this thing. It's actually kind of cute. Okay. So I think what I've seen for so long with this game, and I only saw the other image of it just now, but some people might see, is that glowing orange eye in the center. I guess it's more of a bronze eye rather, but That bronze eye in the center is what everybody sees initially and thinks it's a singular-eyed construct. What I see now is the two little black holes off to the side. It kind of looks like a gecko. It kind of looks like a lizard. I like it. Link, I have waited for you. Princess Zelda left something for you in my care. Her tablet! I mean, her pad! I mean, no matter what I say, it sounds bad, doesn't it? This is the power pad. I am told this is an invaluable tool that will provide you with direction. Okay. It's a Nintendo Switch Lite. Did you buy your Nintendo Switch Lite? I didn't. The Pura Pad. Though different in name, it is effectively your Sheikah Slate of this game. Yep, and we can look at the Pura Pad at any point, and right now it is our map, and this is all we can see, but at least we have idea on where to go. Okay, those are still available. Now, I'll talk more about these icons and stamps later on, because the game's literally going to force us into it in due time, but for now, we'll leave it be. I received it from Princess Zelda. I have now passed it on to you. My records indicate that Princess Zelda is waiting at the location marked on its map. My message has been delivered. Bro, where's my Hylian? We stand in the Garden of Time. I would say your gears seem to be grinding a little bit, but I don't see any gears. You're very incorporeal almost. You're missing ligaments. The Temple of Time is visible from here. It was used in the distant past. Many rites and ceremonies of the kingdom were held here. But no more. Now it is a lonely place. No one visits. Like me, I don't visit. Well, I know what to do. I very much have been told what to do in the past with this, so place funny hand on funny green mark. Receive funny green thing. But yeah, like I said, we now have the Pura Pad. It is, for lack of a better term, it is our Sheikah Slate from Breath of the Wild. In almost every single facet. If you know how to use the Sheikah Slate, you know how to use the Pura Pad. Except we don't have functions that are tied to that yet, but we will in due time. Now I'm taking a moment to peek around, see if I can find anything special here, because I think there are a couple. There's a certain collectible that we can actually start picking up already. But first things first, I would recommend you break some pots. Actually, I'm gonna use my stick for this just so it's quicker. Oh, behavior is a threat. Behavior is a threat. Oh, I broke my stick. Worth it. Hello. Hello, friend. Hello, you seem to be new here. Be wary of soldier constructs as you travel this way. Oh, I fought one of those. Soldier constructs are those of us given strict orders to protect this land. The Zonai who created us directed them to eliminate trespassers. They will consider you a trespasser too. You must treat them as a serious threat. Allow me to offer unsolicited advice. It is crucial to maintain a proper distance and target your opponents. Swinging haphazardly will not yield results. I'm going to prove you wrong by the end of this game. So I used it already, but the lock-on feature. Z-targeting. If you're an old gaming boomer like me, you may practice targeting on me if you want. Oh, but please do not actually attack. May I take your stick? I am taking stick. I believe if you take the stick without talking to him first, I'm recalling from when I first played this, keep in mind this is like 170 hours of gameplay ago. I think if you take the stick from his altar before talking to him first, or talking to it first, he will stop you and go through that same dialogue path. But the thing with Tears of the Kingdom, and much like with Breath of the Wild, is that, oh, can I? Haha. Got it, mine. Much like with Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, is you can do anything in almost any order outside of this tutorial island. But even then, you're kind of given free reign on this tutorial island to go do whatever. Now, a new gimmick that was added into this game, and really only affects you if you're in free fall like that, is the ability to... That frog got away, didn't it? Yes, it did. Is your ability to... If you're well, base jumping for lack of a better term. If you're base jumping off a high perch, you can press the right bumper to accelerate your dive. But I hear those who have only played Breath of the Wild and have not played this game go, "Hey, wait, what does that mean for me? Somebody who has only played Breath of the Wild and has not had to deal with these extreme velocities." You're not going to do that a lot, are you? Actually, quite a lot. There will be a lot of times when I will be holding that right bumper to go at high velocity. Because there is a lot more here. Anyway, I'm going to while I'm picking up tree branches, I'm going to take a moment to talk. Well, actually, no. I will mention it lightly, but pay attention to this blue icon at the side of all of our sticks we're picking up, and subsequently the Decayed Master Sword. I will talk about this in better detail once we get a moment. So anyway, Z targeting enemy. Ow. Z targeting an enemy. I actually wanted to throw that, but hey. Beggars can be choosers. Win stick time! If you do an action... Oop, yeah, I was talking about that. I was going to start talking about that. If you do an action... Or if you do an action that stumbles an enemy, if they're holding a weapon, there's a good chance that they will drop that weapon. But as the game described, and I'll use another weapon to show this. I said you can throw your weapon if you're done with it, if it's about to break. So, this weapon, it's about to... Say the stick's about to break. Okay. It's on its last swing. It's already going to do double damage because it's on its last swing. A critical hit. Well, because it is about to break, if we throw it, it actually does... I think it does double damage because it's thrown. Meaning this 2 power stick, multiplied by 2 to be 4, when thrown, should do 8. So it does pay to... Oh, can't get any more melee weapons. We're capped out. Don't worry, that won't be a problem for too long or something we'll have to worry about for much longer. But yes, the damage multiplier does apply. Keep on going and going into higher amounts as time goes along. So you're not... It's not going to be like, oh, I'm stuck at only doing 2 damage or 4 damage the entire game. No. Now, you forgive me. I'm kind of sticking my nose in places where it shouldn't be because I want to say... I did it again. The thing I keep saying I did it again for, we'll explain in due time. But I keep poking my nose around because I want to say there is a certain collectible we can actually start getting already. But I don't remember where they are up here because, spoilers, you're not up here often. Now, the strength of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is that you can tackle any quote-unquote problem or puzzle from any angle. In my first playthrough, I walked right down up into those guys and fought them 2-on-1. But a little bit of thinking power lets you do something like this. Not like that. So with a little bit of thinking, you can apprehend an enemy that's unaware. Also, well, that didn't work. There was also a sneaking thing. Now, tree branch is damaged. I need to get rid of this to show this off anyway. Let's go ahead and... Oh, wait, hold on. We'll come back for it. I'm going to whistle to get his attention. Hey. Come over here. Here, have stick. Now here is a new weapon type, a long stick. It's effectively a spear. Now keep in mind, I mentioned before to keep note of the icon, that blue icon. This is more of a purplish icon, but it's still the same thing. They're color coded and silhouette coded to help the player. But I believe these were added into this game to make differentiating your weapon types a little bit easier on the fly, because there is a lot of menus to go through when you're on the fly. So spear weapons, we might not see too much of starting out here, but as we get towards the later part of the game, we'll see more of. Spears are quick, long-reaching weapons that are better used if you're fighting an enemy that has a very dangerous attack. Knowing your weapon types and what they can do for you is helpful. Also, your weapon charge abilities. There is a third weapon type we haven't seen yet, which I think everybody knows if they saw me play Breath of the Wild, but charging your weapon up lets you do certain actions. A one-handed weapon or a sword lets you do a spin attack, as everybody knows. The spear lets you multi-strike. And the third weapon type, we'll get there in due time. Don't worry about it. Don't worry your pretty little head. We'll get there in due time. But starting out, like, I will tell you right now, kind of as a warning, starting off here, I will be telling you things that almost everybody probably already knows when it comes to playing this game. Everybody probably knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say doing thing X, thing Y. I cannot get that. At least not right now. Well, I can talk about this a little bit, actually. This will help. So, oh no, I cannot get that. Whatever will I do? Well, I'm going to step back a little bit. That treasure chest I'll probably want to visit in the future. But clicking on the right stick allows you to pull up the pure pad and place down markers. I'm just going to put it in the back half of this temple-ish thing. Markers. Thanks, I was trying to do this thing. Stop bringing up this menu. This animation only plays like the first time you do everything, so my apologies if I complain about it. Placing down a marker will show it as a unique mark on your map. But if you look at it, if you back away and you look at it through this, it'll also create a beacon that extends very high into the sky, so you can see it from quite a far distance out if you're within range, basically within the same region of the world. And a region, think of a region kind of like a continent, more or less. So if you're within the same continent as the mark you lay down, you'll see it. And even sometimes beyond that. The game is going to teach us about that in due time, but for right now, let's not. Now, I clicked in the left thumbstick to go into a sneaking mode. If you're going to catch live enemies or play this game more stealthily, it would behoove you to learn of this technique. I want you to draw attention to that meter in the lower right corner there. That purple meter, more or less, not the temperature meter. That meter in the lower right corner serves as an indicator for how much noise you are making. If you don't peak that meter out, enemies will not hear you and not respond to you if they haven't seen you. So, if you do so... Oh, wait. You can sneak up on enemies. Or talk to them in this case. Hi. So, this guy's... I'm not going to talk about them. I'm not going to let him explain it, but I will talk about it in better detail. So, roasting ingredients. Roasting a raw ingredient will make it better to eat in due time. So, let's take out a couple things and just throw it at the fire. I'll go over that menu a little bit, but basically, once you have items held in your hand, just press A to throw it. There's also a far throwing item. Now, you want to be careful, because this will light stuff on fire, but when it's ready, it will do that. It does pay to bake some items for better health recovery. So, that menu. I will talk about it really quick here. The menu that I just brought up, our pause menu, and the materials menu. We also have cooked food menu and a key item menu. Key items, basically items that indicate progression in the game. That's really all you need to know this for. Food are your cooked items. The toasty sky shroom and the baked apple are considered cooked items. They cannot be reused in any other capacity whatsoever. Materials counts for everything you pick up off the ground, which includes food, elixir components, building components, and another component type that we will learn about in due time. I'm being a little coy with some of this stuff. But if you want to take it out, if you want to eat an item, you can just press A, and then it'll bring up this menu to let you eat it, or select for a recipe. Huh, I actually have never seen this. In my entire time playing the game, I never thought, what happens if I select that, select for recipe? I guess you can revisit any recipe you've made. But you can either open this menu and go down the hold to hold the item, or you press X to activate the hold menu. Hold 5 items at once. We'll talk about what you can do with that more as we get closer to more proper cooking techniques. Anyway. But it would be wise for you to bake a couple of those items just for the future, because for quite some time, you will get your butt handed to you, and you will probably die a handful of times. I'm debating right now live if I'm going to do any kind of game over counter or life loss counter. I might. Because even though I've beaten this game, I'm no expert. And I will also... Oh, well, hey, here's a new enemy. Hey, activate Flurry Rush. So Flurry Rush is a fun Oh boy. Flurry Rush is a fun technique. Also, our broadsword is not our best thing, and a wooden shield. I'll talk about shields more in due time, but I want to switch over to another twig. There we go. So, the Flurry Rush technique. Basically, it acts like a parry, which we can parry otherwise. But the Flurry Rush technique basically is you're Z targeting an enemy, and when they attack you, to jump to the side by pressing X or backwards to jump around their attacks. And if you do it at the perfect time, you'll activate Flurry Rush. It basically allows you to unleash a full 10-hit combo on the enemy without them being able to interrupt it. Also, this technique with parrying that I've already mentioned. This matters mostly if you're planning on actively knocking a weapon out of an enemy's hand and not just dodging around the weapon. Or deflecting things back. I'll probably be doing the deflecting more than knocking an item out of an enemy's hand, but we'll probably learn about that more as we go throughout our adventure. But anyway, the temple, the temple, the temple, the timpal, the time pole. Why am I talking about Pokemon? This is Zelda.
That door will open only to those with sufficient power. I'm sorry. I did not intend to startle you. It was I that spoke to you earlier. That arm originally belonged to me. I am Raru. Forgive me for appearing to you in this manner. Unfortunately, I no longer have a physical form. In any case, that arm should allow you to open this door. It seems to have lost the power to do so. You might be able to restore it, but you would need to enter a place filled with sacred light. Ah, of course. Why not visit the shrines on this island? The shrines. Yes, I'm sure they are the key.
So the adventure log has now been granted to us, as well as shrines. Hey, do you remember shrines? I do. So, we have basically we have side quests, or main quests at this point. We'll get side quests and other quests as time goes along, so don't worry about it. As of now, we're currently tracking the closed door. Find Princess Zelda is our end goal, and much like with Breath of the Wild, had like one staple objective to do. To basically end the game. This is the end the game function. When you finish this quest, you have beaten the game. A little bit of spoiler, but we'll get back to that more time. So we're currently tracking this. If you ever want to track something, you can press A to not track it or to track it. But once again, I'm going to mention this functionality with clicking in the right stick to place pins. I would recommend, but I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your real phone. To look for these shrines and place a pin on every single one. Now there is a third one. I think it's back here. I'm going to manually place a pin here, though I'm probably wrong on where it is. So now if we bring this up, we can see that's the treasure chest I want to get at. That's the shrine we want to go to. Somewhere back there is the shrine we can't see. And over here on the right is our first shrine. And with that explanation out of the way, I think I'm going to end things here. Everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of Tears of the Kingdom. I'll probably switch back and forth between saying the full title and just Tears of the Kingdom. So you'll have to deal with that. Come back next time. We will make our way to our first shrine and actually probably start talking a little bit about the quote-unquote mechanics of the game. I'll see you folks next time. Take care. Link, put a shirt on.